Alright, so a few things before we get into this video. If you see me put someone below someone, it doesn't mean that's the ranking I'm giving them. That's just how I placed them in that tier, and there's no ranking to this video besides what tier I put the WeedTuber in. But first, if you're not stop being a butthole Steve. Alright, so let's get into this. The first one we have is Custom Grow 420. I don't have to explain this. He's an OG, one of the biggest WeedTubers ever. He's an easy S tier, like he deserves to go there. Alright, up next is X Cody, and X Cody gets like an easy S tier. He makes dope ass content. He used to make weed content and then switched over to stories. Doesn't matter, it's all fire to me. Alright, up next is Goblin, and Goblin's not necessarily a WeedTuber, but he does hang out with WeedTubers. So like I put him in this category. He's an easy S tier as well. I've been watching him forever. He makes fire ass content and he's an easy S tier. Alright, up next is LMC, and I think LMC deserves S tier. Like he is the best weed documentary like person out there. Like I don't know anybody else. Like it's probably because I'm not like in the scene, but he is like the biggest I know of, and he makes dope ass content. He's cool as fuck. Like he deserves S. Like he's making dope ass content. Alright, up next is Rollo G, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of Rollo G, and that's not because I don't like him, it's just I just don't watch him that much. I still think he's like an easy A tier. Like he deserves A tier. Like he's been on YouTube forever. He has 600K. Everybody knows him. He deserves A tier. Alright, up next is Strange Show, and I think Strange Show's content is pretty good, but here's the thing with me. I don't always want to be educated when I'm watching YouTube videos, so like that kind of like takes it down for me personally, but I can see that he makes really good content, and I'm gonna have to put him in B. Like he deserves me. Alright, next is Indicate, and Indicate's old content, like peak Indicate, is fire. Like it's so good. Like he's an easy A tier for me. I don't think he's S tier, but he's an easy A tier. And recently I've heard some crazy shit about him. I'm saving it for a video. I don't know when that's gonna come out, but I've heard some crazy shit about him. But he deserves A. Like his content, his peak content was really good. Alright, next is Aircon, and do I even have to explain why I'm putting him in S? Like he is a goat of WeedTube. He's one of the biggest WeedTubers ever. His content's fire. Like he has dope live streams. Aircon's fire. Like we all know this. He deserves S tier. It's an easy S tier, and that's where I'm gonna put him. All right, next is Pizza Brian, and personally, Pizza Brian's like content is not necessarily for me, but I do see why people like him. He does have some funny moments, and he's good friends with Fulcrum. I'm gonna have to put him in an easy B tier. Like personally, that's where I think he deserves. If you think otherwise, that's your opinion. You know, everybody. I have this public, so anybody can come on here and make this. But I think he's B. All right, next is Matthias, and personally for me, Matthias is an easy A tier. Like I used to watch a shit ton of his content. He's fire. He makes dope ass content, and he still makes dope ass content. All right, next is Silent Hippie, and do I even have to say why I'm putting her in S tier? She's an OG in female WeedTubers. Like she's been doing this shit forever. She's one of the icons of WeedTube, and her content is honestly, if you like it, it's fire. Alright, next is Bentley Blaze. And personally, I don't watch a lot of Bentley Blaze, but I can see why some people like his content. He does make very like trendy, good edit videos, kind of like Eric Khan, and I can see why people like his content. I'm gonna put him in a B tier. Alright, so next is Fulcrum, and I feel like some people are gonna like fucking hate me on this, but personally, I know Fulcrum is like one of the biggest WeedTubers ever. He broke out into the mainstream. I understand all of that. But personally, for me and his content, I'm gonna have to say it's an A like tier. I'm just gonna say like I do think he is a goat. Like he is gonna like become like one of, like the biggest WeedTubers ever. Like maybe even taking over Dope as YOLO one day. But personally, for me and his content, I think it's an A tier. Alright, so next is Shelby, and Shelby's been around forever, and his content's pretty fire. I used to watch a lot of his content. I'm going to have to put him at an easy, like, A tier, honestly. Like, I think he deserves A tier. He's been on YouTube forever. He's one of the icons of the second generation. He's just been doing this shit forever, and his content's fire. Alright, so next is Jared Torres, And Jared Torres is a smaller WeedTuber, but he is an upcoming WeedTuber. And I think if he starts uploading a lot more, he would become a lot bigger of a WeedTuber. And I'm gonna put him in B. Like, I think eventually he could become maybe even an S, but like definitely an A if he just starts uploading more. But I know he has like personal stuff going in his life. He probably works a job, so there's a lot of factors into that. Alright, so next is Dave420, and a lot of people really like Dave420, and I can understand why. He's funny, he makes dope ass content, and he's a little bit different with his content. It's almost like a raw OG type of content where he's more outdoorsy and he's doing stuff while he's smoking or taking acid, like his biggest video. I think he's the easy A tier. Like, he could even possibly be S tier one day. Like, he is up and coming. Alright, so up next is Koala Puff, and she's been on YouTube for a minute, even though YouTube deleted all of her content, but she does have a side like account now. But I think she deserves a B tier, honestly. She's like known by the whole community almost. She makes like pretty cool content, and I know she has a subscription box that does really well and people really like it. Alright, up next is Ruben Smokes, and Ruben Smokes is definitely an upcoming WeedTuber. I think right now he's a B tier, but he could easily be an A. He could easily be an A WeedTuber. Like, he makes really cool content, and I think once he gets like over his health issues because of the blinker stuff and gets to upload more, I think he could be an easy A tier. Alright, next is Nate420. I think we all know where Nate420 goes. Fucking F tier. Like, I don't even have to explain. It's Nate fucking 420. Starting beef with everybody. Fucking doesn't respect anybody. Fucking, he's an F tier. Like, he just deserves it. Alright, so next is Young Mike. And Young Mike, I haven't watched his content in a really long time, so I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. That's nothing against him. It's just I haven't watched his content in a long time. I don't even know if he like actually still uploads, so it's C tier for me. Alright, so next is Kimmy Tan, and Kimmy Tan is a pretty big like WeedTuber. I'm gonna have to put her in like A. Like, even though I personally don't like watching her content, she gets a lot of views, and she's one of the bigger WeedTubers in the scene. Alright, up next is Drew, and Drew makes really good content. Like, alright, so up next is Drew Smokes, and Drew Smokes makes really good content. I like watching Drew Smokes, so I'm gonna have to put him in A tier. Everybody in the UK be killing it with the content, honestly. Alright, so up next is Cupins, and Cupins, personally, I like watching a lot of his content. I know some people like feel some type of way about him, but like, I like watching Cupins a lot. I'm gonna have to put him in A tier. Like, just like personally, I like watching a lot of his content. Alright, so up next is Mr. THC, and Mr. THC is an S tier. Like, he shaped WeedTube so much that like he deserves to be an S tier. Like, his content, I like watching his content. I've been watching his content for a while, and he's like putting trends out there that all the other WeedTubers are doing, so easy S tier. Up next is Dopaziola, and do I even have to explain why I'm putting Dopaziola in S tier? Like, it's Dopaziola. Every piece of content he puts out is fire. His main YouTube channel is fire, his second channel is fire, his podcast is fire. It's all fire. Like, he is an easy S tier. So let me know how you think about the video. If there's any WeedTubers I missed and should have put in this tier list, let me know down in the comments. And until next time, peace!
She said I could have it. 2016, little bitch, I'm a savage. Johnny Depp's to a bitch, make all the baggage. Then I feel like I'm a fucking bandit. RIP, just walk got perks in the cabinet. Sold them off on my session.